What's up, you guys? I'm Dr. Nick. In this video, we are performing what's called a matrixectomy on this patient. And a matrixectomy is when we permanently remove the sides of an ingrown toenail so that they don't grow back to prevent this problem from reoccurring. And in this video, this patient is a 12-year-old female and she did really good. I'm so proud of her. This is a difficult procedure to undergo in the office, sometimes in younger children, as they're nervous about getting a shot, they're nervous about having the procedure done, but she did extremely well, and we were able to calm her down a little bit prior to the procedure by giving her a medication that she takes 30 minutes prior to coming into the office at home, and then we usually give them a second pill to take while they're in the office to help if the first pill didn't help enough. So you can see what we're doing here is removing the sides of the toenail that create the problem. Now in this patient, she had recurrent ingrown toenails that kept coming back. She kept getting drainage, infection. The parents would describe pus coming out of the sides of the nails, collecting on the socks over and over again. Finally, we just got to the point where she wanted to have them fixed. This has been going on for over a year. So the procedure entails numbing the toe, and we use a mixture of something called lidocaine and marcaine, but in children we only use lidocaine. In adults we would use both lidocaine and marcaine. Once the toe has been completely numbed, we put a tourniquet on, and the tourniquet will help to control some of the bleeding that occurs when we do these procedures, because we're introducing a chemical into the sides of the nails to stop the nail from growing back. And if there's a lot of bleeding, the chemical can sometimes get diluted from the blood, so we want to make sure we control the bleeding. So after all this is set up, the toe's numb, the tourniquet's on, we use a small instrumentation, as you can see we were doing here, to free up the sides of the nail plate. The toenail gets cut, and we're trying to do it in a manner that is anatomically normal. We don't want to remove too much of the toenail so that it looks like a small toenail and it doesn't look normal, but we want to get enough so that it prevents the ingrown toenail from coming back. So once we've freed up the toenail, we clip it a little bit to get the process started, or get that groove started that we're going to cut, a small incision in the toenail, and then we use a small blade to cut back on the toenail all the way under the cuticle. And once that's done, we'll do that on all four borders in this particular case, because this patient was getting them on both sides of both great toenails. So we do all four corners, and then we'll use a small instrument here to remove the nail plates. Once the nail plates are removed, then we introduce the chemical called phenol. Now, phenol is a chemical that's going to denature the cells that grow the toenail. And it's basically just creating a chemical burn to stop the nail cells from regrowing toenails. And typically we do about 3 applications, 30 seconds each, and that should be enough to introduce enough chemical into the area to stop the cells from forming, or it creates a burn. Now after that's done, we'll put a bandage on, the tourniquets get removed, and the patient is able to go home. Now the post-op recovery for this is keeping this large bandage on for approximately 24 hours. After 24 hours, the patient will then remove the bandage, and they usually will begin soaking it in warm water and Epsom salts, and then they apply an antibiotic ointment such as Neosporin or a triple antibiotic ointment, bacitracin, and cover it with just a Band-Aid. A lot of my patients will ask, what is the recovery time for this? Well, in terms of recovery and what the patients are allowed to do, I usually tell them to take about 24 hours of just keeping it easy the next day, not performing any strenuous or physical activity. And then about 48 to 72 hours later, they're allowed to resume normal activity, such as running, or if they're in school, they can go back to performing their athletics or gym class. And then it takes about 2 weeks to see this drainage stop from the chemical burn that we create. Sometimes it's even a little bit longer. It could be up to 4 weeks in some patients that heal a little bit slower for no particular reason. And we will not restrict many activities other than the first 24 to 48 hours. If you've had this procedure done and you're worried that you're getting some drainage or there's some redness surrounding the area, sometimes that can be normal, because remember, it's a chemical burn. You want to just keep soaking it and keeping it clean and keeping it covered with an antibiotic ointment. Despite what many people think, you don't need to air these out. People think that you need air to a wound to help heal it. The oxygen comes from the blood flow, not the air surrounding you. So we recommend keeping it covered with an antibiotic ointment to allow for healing. Well, I hope this video was educational for you. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section below. I'd love to answer your questions, and we'll see you in the next video.